The Enchanted Castle Mystery. One sunny morning, Lily the bunny and Max the squirrel were playing near the big, sparkling, enchanted castle. They had heard whispers that the castle held a secret, and today they decided to find out what it was. With excitement twinkling in their eyes, they hopped and scurried through the soft green grass, ready for an adventure full of magic and surprises. As they reached the castle gate, they noticed a tiny golden key sparkling on the ground. "Look, Max," said Lily. "Maybe this key opens a secret door." Max twitched his nose and said, "Let's find out." Together, they searched the castle walls, their little hearts beating with excitement. Suddenly, Max found a small door covered in ivy, just the right size for them to squeeze through. Inside the secret door, they found a magical room filled with sparkling stars floating in the air and a treasure chest glowing softly in the corner. Lily and Max opened the chest carefully, and inside they found not jewels but a glowing scroll. The scroll had a shimmering message that said, "True friendship is the greatest treasure of all." Both friends smiled and hugged, feeling the magic of their special bond. The Chant of Charlie and Chloe. In a cozy little forest, there lived two best friends named Charlie and Chloe. Charlie was a tiny chipmunk who loved to hop and play, and Chloe was a bright bluebird who sang the sweetest songs. One sunny morning, as the birds chirped and the flowers stretched toward the sky, Charlie and Chloe found a shiny, sparkling pebble on the forest floor. It shimmered with colors like a rainbow, and when they held it together, they heard a soft whisper, "Sing the chant, and magic will dance." Excited, Charlie and Chloe decided to try the chant. They held paws and wings and sang, "Chant, chant, dance and play, bring the forest joy today." As their voices blended, the flowers around them began to bloom brighter, and the leaves on the trees started to wiggle happily. Even the butterflies fluttered in a joyful dance. The forest seemed to wake up in a magical way, all because of their special chant. Soon, all the forest animals joined in. The rabbits thumped their feet, the squirrels clapped their paws, and the birds chirped along with Charlie and Chloe's chant. The magic grew stronger, and the whole forest felt like it was smiling. Charlie and Chloe giggled, feeling happy that their song could make so many friends dance and smile. They learned that when friends share their happiness, the world around them can sparkle with magic too. The Curious Eye of Emily. Emily was no ordinary little girl. She had a very special eye, her curious eye, that could see magical things hidden from everyone else. One bright morning, Emily looked around her garden and noticed something sparkling behind the tall sunflowers. Her curious eye twinkled as she tiptoed closer, eager to discover what secret was waiting for her today. As Emily pushed aside the sunflower leaves, she found a secret garden glowing with colors she had never seen before. The flowers here had friendly faces and whispered cheerful greetings. A group of butterflies danced around, their wings shimmering like tiny rainbows. Emily smiled with wonder, her curious eye sparkling brighter than ever. Suddenly, a shy white rabbit peeked out from behind a violet flower. He looked nervous and a little lost. Emily knelt down gently and asked, "Would you like to play with me?" The rabbit nodded, and together they explored the magical garden, discovering sparkling treasure hidden beneath the leaves that made the whole garden glow with happiness. The Lost City Beneath the Desert. Once upon a time, in a bright, sunny desert, little Zara and her magical camel, Nubai, were playing near the golden sand dunes. Zara loved adventures, and today, Nubai's soft hooves suddenly stopped at a strange, tiny sparkle shining beneath the sand. Curious, Zara dug gently with her hands, and to her surprise, a little glowing door appeared, nestled in the warm sand. What could be behind the door? With a big smile, Zara held Nubai's reins tight, ready to find out. Zara opened the magical door and saw a sparkling staircase leading down, made of colorful stones that shimmered like rainbows. Together, Zara and Nubai tiptoed down the stairs, each step lighting up with twinkling lights. At the bottom, they gasped with joy. A whole lost city lay beneath the desert, filled with bright buildings made of glowing crystals and streets paved with shining jewels. Friendly little glowing creatures peeked out, waving hello to the new visitors. Zara and Nubai wandered through the sparkling streets, meeting playful glowing lizards and colorful birds singing sweet songs. They found a treasure chest, old but shining, filled with twinkling jewels and golden coins. Zara laughed as she held up a shiny gem that sparkled like the sun. Nubai nuzzled her gently, happy to share this wonderful secret. As the sun began to set above the desert, Zara knew she had found a special place where magic and friendship lived forever beneath the golden sands. The Secret of the Rainbow Bridge. One sunny morning, little Mia was playing near her garden when she suddenly saw something amazing. A bright, colorful bridge made entirely of shimmering rainbows stretching across the sky. It sparkled with every color she could imagine, glowing softly like a magical light. Mia's eyes grew wide with wonder, and she wondered where the bridge could lead. She tiptoed closer, feeling excitement bubble inside her heart. Could this be a secret bridge to a magical land? She whispered with a smile. As Mia stepped onto the rainbow bridge, tiny sparkling fish swam playfully beneath her feet in a clear, twinkling stream. Suddenly, a fluffy white bunny hopped up beside her and gave a gentle nod, as if inviting her to continue. Mia giggled happily, feeling the bridge gently sway with every step. The colors beneath her toes felt warm and soft, like walking on clouds made of sunshine and joy. "Come on, Bunny. Let's see what wonderful things are waiting for us," she said cheerfully. Further along the bridge, Mia met friendly, fluffy clouds that floated nearby, smiling warmly at her. They whispered a secret. The magic of this bridge comes from laughter and kindness. Mia laughed with delight and clapped her hands. Suddenly, the colors of the bridge danced and sparkled even brighter. She realized that the happiest hearts could make the rainbow bridge shine the most. Mia felt her heart glow with warmth as she skipped along, sharing smiles with every cloud and creature she met. At the end of the rainbow bridge, Mia discovered a magical land filled with colorful flowers that sang gentle songs, friendly animals that danced in the sunshine, and sparkling streams that giggled as they flowed. She felt like she had stepped into a dream where everything was happy and bright. Mia knew the secret of the Rainbow Bridge now, that it was a place where love, laughter, and kindness made all things shine. She promised to visit often and keep sharing her joyful heart with the magical world. The Secret Garden Adventure. One sunny morning, Lily and her puppy Max were playing in the backyard when they noticed something strange behind the old oak tree. It was a small wooden gate covered in twisting green vines and tiny pink flowers. Curious, Lily pushed the gate open, and to her surprise, they stepped into a secret garden that shimmered with magic and color. Bright flowers sparkled like stars, and friendly bugs buzzed around happily. Max wagged his tail, ready to explore this wonderful new place with Lily. As they walked deeper into the garden, Lily spotted a patch of flowers that glowed in every color of the rainbow. She bent down to smell a bright pink blossom that twinkled like a tiny star. Max happily chased a fluttering butterfly, his fluffy tail wagging faster and faster. Suddenly, a friendly ladybug landed on Lily's finger and waved its tiny legs as if to say hello. Lily laughed and whispered, "This must be the happiest garden in the whole world." Further along the winding path, Lily and Max found a little pond where shiny dragonflies zipped over the water. They saw curious caterpillars inching along big green leaves and buzzing bees collecting nectar from the magical flowers. Lily and Max played hide-and-seek behind tall sunflowers, giggling as the garden seemed to join in their fun. The secret garden was full of surprises, and every step brought a new friend or a sparkling wonder to discover. As the sun began to set, Lily and Max sat on a soft patch of moss, watching the garden glow softly in the golden light. Lily whispered, "Thank you, Secret Garden, for sharing your magic with us today." Max snuggled close, happy and tired from their adventure. They knew they had found a special place to visit whenever they wanted to dream and play. With hearts full of joy, they quietly slipped back through the wooden gate, ready to return another day for more secret garden adventures. The Silly Snake's Slithery Tale. Sammy the silly snake loved to wiggle and giggle in the sunny meadow. Every morning, he would slither around, making funny shapes with his long, twisty body. One day, Sammy decided to play a game with his friends. He curled into a big, silly spiral and called out, "Can you guess what shape I am?" His friends laughed and tried to guess, but Sammy kept changing his shape, making everyone giggle and cheer. Next, Sammy slid over to the sparkling pond and made a wiggly, slippery path all around the water. He invited his friends to follow and try to slither just like he did. The bunny hopped, the frog hopped, and the bird flapped its wings, trying to copy Sammy's silly moves. Everyone laughed as they tumbled and wobbled, making the meadow echo with happy sounds. Suddenly, Sammy had a funny idea. He slithered up a little hill and pretended to be a rainbow snake, changing colors in his imagination. "Look, I'm red, blue, yellow, and green," he giggled. His friends clapped and cheered, joining in the fun by pretending to be colorful animals too. The meadow was filled with laughter and bright, happy colors all around. As the sun began to set, Sammy and his friends snuggled together in the soft grass. "Today was the best day ever," said the bunny. I love your silly, slithery games." Sammy smiled wide, feeling warm inside. He knew that the best fun was sharing silly moments with friends. And so, under the glowing orange sky, the silly snake and his friends dreamed of more giggles and games to come. Magic Forest of Friendly Fairies. One sunny morning, Bella the bunny hopped through the meadow when she noticed a shimmering path glowing softly beneath the trees. Curious and excited, Bella decided to follow the sparkling trail, wondering where it would lead. As she hopped along, twinkling lights danced around her, and the air smelled sweet like honey and flowers. The magic forest was waking up, ready to share its secrets with a new friend. Soon, Bella met the friendly fairies, tiny glowing creatures with wings like petals of a rainbow. They smiled warmly and waved their tiny hands, sprinkling sparkling fairy dust that made Bella giggle. The fairies invited Bella to explore the magic forest together. They showed her giant rainbow-colored flowers that swayed gently, sparkling streams that sang soft songs, and glowing mushrooms that lit up the forest floor like little lanterns. As they walked, Bella and the fairies played games of hide-and-seek, chasing sparkling butterflies and listening to the forest's gentle whispers. Bella learned that the magic forest was full of kindness and friendship, where every creature helped one another. When the sun began to set, the fairies created a glowing circle of light, and Bella felt warm and happy inside. She knew this magical place would always be her special secret, full of love and new friends. A unicorn for Emily's birthday. Today is Emily's birthday. She wakes up excited, her pink dress twirling as she runs outside to the garden where balloons float and colorful ribbons flutter. Suddenly, a soft sparkle catches her eye near the big oak tree. There, shimmering under the sunlight, stands a tiny unicorn with a rainbow mane and twinkling eyes. "Hello, Emily," the unicorn says gently. "I'm Sparkle, here to make your day magical." Sparkle nudges Emily gently, inviting her to climb on his back. As soon as she sits, colors whirl around them like a swirling rainbow. They fly over the garden and through the gates into a magical forest where trees glow softly and friendly animals peek out to say hello. A curious bunny hops alongside, and a cheerful bird sings a happy tune. Emily laughs with delight, feeling the wind and magic all around her. Deep inside the forest, Sparkle and Emily find a sparkling pond that reflects all the colors of the rainbow. Sparkle tells Emily, "The magic of this place reminds us that kindness and friendship make the world shine brighter." Emily smiles and shares her birthday cake with the friendly animals, who giggle and clap their paws and wings. The forest sparkles even more, and Emily feels her heart glow with happiness and love. As the sun begins to set, Sparkle gently flies Emily back to her garden. The balloons dance in the breeze, and Emily hugs Sparkle tightly. "Thank you for the best birthday ever," she whispers. Sparkle smiles, his rainbow mane sparkling in the golden light. "Remember, magic is always inside you, Emily." With a twinkle, Sparkle trots away into the sunset, leaving Emily filled with joy and wonder, ready for many more magical days to come. the Valentine's Day of love. In a bright and magical forest, Bella the little bunny woke up feeling extra happy. Today was Valentine's Day, a special day to share love and kindness with everyone. Bella put on her favorite pink scarf and hopped outside, ready to spread joy. She looked around and saw the forest blooming with heart-shaped flowers and colorful balloons tied to the trees. What a perfect day for a love adventure, she thought, her nose twitching with excitement. First, Bella met Sammy the squirrel, who was gathering nuts but looked a little sad. "Why so glum, Sammy?" Bella asked with a kind smile. Sammy sighed, "I want to give my friends a gift, but I don't have anything special." Bella thought for a moment and said, "Love is the best gift of all. Why don't we make heart-shaped nut baskets together?" Sammy's eyes sparkled as they worked side by side, filling baskets with nuts and wrapping them with ribbons. Sammy felt happy to share. Next, Bella found Leela the ladybug resting on a leaf. Leela was painting tiny hearts on petals but seemed unsure. "What are you doing, Leela?" Bella asked. "I want to decorate the forest for Valentine's Day, but I'm so small," Leela whispered. Bella gently said, "Even the smallest hearts shine the brightest. Let's hang your painted petals all around." Together, they decorated trees and bushes, turning the forest into a sparkling garden of love. Leela's little hearts glowed everywhere, making the forest magical. As the sun began to set, Bella heard a soft hoot. It was Oliver the owl, perched quietly on a branch. "Hello, Bella," he said kindly. "I have something special for you." Oliver handed Bella a magical golden key that sparkled in the twilight. "This is the key to open the heart of the forest. When you use it, love will fill every corner." Bella's eyes widened with wonder. Together, they walked to the big oak tree at the heart of the forest. Bella gently placed the key in a tiny heart-shaped lock, and suddenly, the whole forest glowed with warm light and love. All the animals gathered around, feeling the love that filled the forest. Bella smiled and said, "Valentine's Day is about sharing kindness, friendship, and love with everyone, big and small." They sang happy songs, exchanged gifts made with love, and played among the heart-shaped flowers and balloons. The forest was alive with joy, laughter, and the warmest hugs. Bella knew this Valentine's Day would be remembered forever, a day when love truly bloomed for all her friends. The little pine Siskin's Chirp. In a tall, green forest filled with whispering pine trees lived a little pine siskin named Sunny. Sunny was very small, with bright yellow and green feathers that shimmered in the sunlight. But there was something special about Sunny. He had a tiny chirp that was softer than all the other birds' songs. Sunny wished he could sing loud and bright like his friends, so he practiced every day, hoping his chirp would grow stronger. One morning, Sunny met a wise old owl who was resting on a nearby branch. The owl smiled kindly and said, "Sunny, every chirp has its own magic. You just need to find yours." Sunny blinked his bright eyes and asked, "How do I find it?" The owl fluffed his feathers and replied, "Listen carefully to the forest and let your heart sing." Sunny closed his eyes and listened. He heard the buzzing bees, the rustling leaves, and the babbling brook. Then he felt a tickle of joy inside and chirped a little louder, a little clearer. Suddenly, a sparkling blue butterfly fluttered by and danced around Sunny, making him giggle. Nearby, a friendly red fox peeked out from behind a tree, smiling at Sunny's brightening song. With each chirp, Sunny's confidence grew. His tiny voice began to sparkle like morning sunshine through the pine branches. The other birds stopped to listen, and soon the whole forest was filled with Sunny's cheerful song. He had found his magic chirp, soft but full of happiness that made everyone smile. And from that day on, Sunny sang loud and bright, lighting up the forest with his special song. The brave little painted buntings, Plume. In the heart of a sunny forest lived Benny, a little painted bunting with the brightest, most colorful plume anyone had ever seen. Benny loved to flutter from tree to tree, his feathers shining in red, blue, green, and yellow. One morning, as Benny sang a cheerful tune, he noticed his plumes sparkling in a way he'd never seen before. It twinkled like tiny stars. Benny felt a little flutter of excitement. Could his plume be magical? He decided to find out. Benny's friend, a shy squirrel named Squeaky, came running up looking worried. "Oh, Benny," she said, "the flowers in the meadow have lost their color and the forest feels sad." Benny flapped his wings and smiled bravely. "Don't worry, Squeaky. Maybe my sparkly plume can help." Together, they hurried to the meadow where dull, gray flowers drooped sadly. Benny took a deep breath and spread his glowing plume wide. A gentle light shimmered and danced over the petals, and slowly, the meadow burst into bright reds, yellows, and blues once more. Next, Benny's friend Robbie Rabbit bounced over, laughing. "Benny, can you make the dark pond sparkle too? It looks so gloomy." Benny nodded eagerly and flew to the pond's edge. He dipped his plume into the water, and it glowed even brighter. Suddenly, the pond shimmered and sparkled like 1,000 tiny diamonds, reflecting the joyful sunlight. Robbie clapped his paws happily, and even the old turtle, Timothy, smiled wide at the magical sight. Benny felt proud and happy. His plume wasn't just pretty, it was powerful and kind. As evening fell, the forest glowed softly under the stars. Benny sat with his friends, feeling warm inside. "You were so brave today, Benny," said Timothy the turtle. Benny smiled shyly. "I just wanted to help my friends." And with that, Benny's plume shimmered gently, lighting the way for everyone home. From that day on, Benny the brave little painted bunting was known as the spark of the forest, reminding everyone that even the smallest creatures can shine the brightest when they are kind and courageous. The tiny turkey's gobble. On a bright morning at Sunny Farm, Tiny Turkey woke up feeling extra excited. Though he was the smallest turkey in the whole barnyard, he wanted to have the biggest, loudest gobble anyone had ever heard. Tiny Turkey puffed up his little chest and tried to gobble, but it came out as a soft, tiny sound. "Oh no," he giggled. "I want a gobble that can fill the whole farm." So, he decided to go on a little adventure to find his special gobble. Tiny Turkey wandered past the red barn and met Daisy the cow munching on fresh green grass. "Daisy," Tiny Turkey asked, "how can I make my gobble loud and strong like you?" Daisy laughed softly. "Maybe you just need to practice, little one, or try gobbling when you're really happy." Tiny Turkey smiled and waved goodbye, feeling hopeful as he skipped along the path. Next, Tiny Turkey met Penny the playful pig rolling in the mud. "Penny, how do you make such fun sounds?" Tiny Turkey asked. Penny snorted happily. "I just make noise when I'm having fun. Maybe you can try that." Tiny Turkey laughed and splashed in a little puddle, trying again to gobble, and this time it sounded a bit louder. "I'm getting closer," he cheered. Then Tiny Turkey flew up a little to visit Ollie the wise owl in the big tree. "Ollie, what makes a gobble truly special?" he asked. Ollie blinked his big eyes and said softly, "A special gobble comes from your heart, Tiny Turkey. When you feel happy and brave, your gobble will shine." Tiny Turkey thought about this and felt a warm glow inside. He flapped his wings and practiced his gobble once more. Back on the ground, Tiny Turkey took a deep breath and gobbled with all his heart. "Gobble!" The sound was bright and cheerful, carrying all the way across the farm. All the animals stopped and smiled, hearing Tiny Turkey's happy gobble. "You did it, Tiny Turkey!" cheered Daisy, Penny, and Ollie. Tiny Turkey beamed with pride, knowing his gobble was special because it was full of joy and confidence. Timmy and the Talking Animals. One bright morning, Timmy wandered into the magical forest near his home. Suddenly, he heard a tiny voice calling, "Hello!" It was Squeaky, the squirrel who could talk. Timmy blinked in surprise but smiled wide. "Welcome to our forest," chirped Squeaky. Timmy felt excited to meet a talking animal and was ready for an adventure unlike any before. As Timmy and Squeaky walked deeper, they met Ollie the owl, who wore tiny glasses and spoke with a gentle voice. "Hello, Timmy. We love having visitors," Ollie said wisely. Timmy listened closely as Ollie shared stories about the forest creatures. Timmy felt happy and curious, eager to learn and explore with his new friends. Suddenly, a soft rustling sound caught their attention. Out hopped Binky the bunny, full of energy and laughter. "Let's play hide and seek," Binky giggled. Timmy laughed and nodded eagerly. The friends dashed around trees and bushes, hiding and finding each other with joy. The forest echoed with their happy chatter and giggles. After playing, the friends discovered a shiny, colorful stone sparkling under a bush. "What is this?" Timmy asked. Ollie explained it was a magical stone that glows when friends work together. Holding hands with his new animal pals, Timmy felt a warm glow fill the forest. They all realized that kindness and friendship create true magic. As the sun began to set, Timmy waved goodbye to his talking animal friends. "Come back soon," they called. Timmy smiled, knowing he had found a special place where magic and friendship live forever. He skipped home, eager to tell his family about the amazing day in the magical forest. The Lost Puppy in Moonlight. One shiny night, Luna, the little fluffy puppy with big curious eyes, woke up to a glowing full moon. The moonlight made the garden sparkle like a fairy tale. Luna felt excited and decided to explore the magical night outside her cozy home. She tiptoed past the colorful flowers and followed a soft silver path that glowed just for her. The moon smiled down, lighting the way as Luna's tiny paws patted softly on the cool grass. As Luna wandered deeper, twinkling stars blinked cheerfully above, guiding her steps. Suddenly, she heard a soft hoot nearby. It was a friendly owl with big round eyes perched on a tree branch. "Hello, Luna," the owl whispered. "The moonlight can show you wonders, but it's easy to get lost. Let me help you find your way." Grateful, Luna wagged her tail happily and followed the wise owl's gentle flutter through the peaceful forest. Further along the moonlit path, Luna met a gentle deer with shining spots that glowed like tiny lanterns. The deer smiled warmly and said, "I know a secret way back to your home, through the shimmering meadow." Luna felt brave and followed the deer through the sparkling grass that glistened like diamonds. The night felt magical, and Luna's heart was full of joy as the moonlight danced on her fur. At last, through the shimmering meadow, Luna caught sight of her cozy house with warm, glowing windows. The moon smiled brightly, lighting Luna's way home. She wagged her tail excitedly and ran across the garden, under the twinkling stars. Luna learned that even when the night seems big and mysterious, kind friends and the gentle moonlight will always help you find your way back to where you belong. Benny and the Lost Treasure Map. One sunny morning, Benny the bunny was hopping around the garden when he spotted something shiny in the bushes. It was an old, crinkled treasure map. His eyes grew wide with excitement. "Wow, a real treasure map," Benny whispered. He quickly called his friends Squeaky the squirrel, Ollie the owl, and Frodo the frog to come and see. Together, they decided to follow the map and find the lost treasure hidden somewhere in the garden. The map showed a dotted path leading past the big oak tree, across the sparkling stream, and finally to a big X near the colorful flower patch. Benny and his friends hopped, fluttered, and scrambled along the path, solving little clues along the way. When they reached the oak tree, they found a clue carved into the bark that said, "Look where the butterflies dance." Everyone smiled and looked around for fluttering wings. Next, near the sparkling stream, Frodo leaped happily as he spotted colorful fish swimming beneath the water. Ollie spotted a shiny pebble with a tiny arrow pointing towards the flower patch. "We're getting close," Benny cheered. They all hurried along, feeling the warm sun and smelling the sweet flowers. Suddenly, Benny's paw brushed something hard under a big red flower. It was the treasure chest. With a little effort, Benny and his friends opened the wooden chest. Inside, they found sparkling jewels, shiny coins, and a note that said, "The greatest treasure is friendship and fun adventures." Everyone laughed happily, knowing they had found something even better than gold. They danced around the garden, ready for their next exciting journey together, with the treasure map safely tucked away for another day. The Little Learner of Lily and Leo. One sunny morning, Lily and Leo were playing in their backyard when a tiny sparkle caught their eyes. It was the Little Learner, a magical creature no bigger than a ladybug, glowing softly with golden light. The Little Learner smiled and whispered, "Would you like to discover something wonderful with me?" Excited and curious, Lily and Leo nodded eagerly, ready for an adventure full of surprises and fun. The little learner led them to a giant sunflower that reached the sky. "Look closely," it said. Lily and Leo watched as tiny bees buzzed happily, collecting pollen and dancing from flower to flower. The little learner explained how bees help flowers grow, making the garden bright and colorful. Lily clapped her hands, and Leo giggled, amazed at how busy and important the little bees were. Next, the little learner showed them a sparkling puddle where tiny water droplets danced and shimmered like stars. "These droplets help plants drink and grow," it whispered. Lily gently touched the water, and Leo splashed his hands, laughing as the droplets twinkled in the sun. They felt happy to learn how even the smallest drops of water were magical helpers in the garden. As the sun began to set, the little learner gathered tiny fireflies that lit up the garden like twinkling stars. "See how they glow to guide others at night," it said. Lily and Leo watched the fireflies dance around them, their lights flickering softly. They felt the magic of the garden filling the air, and their hearts were full of wonder and joy, grateful for their new little friend and the day's adventures. Before saying goodbye, the little learner whispered, "Remember, every little thing around you is full of magic and learning. Just keep your eyes open and your heart curious." Lily and Leo waved happily as their tiny friend disappeared in a sparkling trail, promising many more adventures to come. Their day was filled with smiles, magic, and the joy of being little learners in a big, wonderful world. The Little Baker's Big Treat. In a little village, there was a tiny bakery where Mia, the little baker, loved to mix and stir. One sunny morning, Mia decided she wanted to bake the biggest, yummiest treat ever. She put on her flowery apron, grabbed her wooden spoon, and began to gather colorful ingredients. Flour flew like soft clouds, and sugar sparkled like magic dust. Mia danced around the kitchen, humming a happy tune as she mixed bright berries, creamy milk, and golden honey into a big, bubbling bowl. As Mia poured the batter into a giant cake pan, something wonderful happened. The cake began to grow and grow, stretching up and up until it reached the ceiling. Mia's eyes sparkled with surprise and delight. She decorated it with rainbow icing, twinkling sprinkles, and shiny cherries on top. The cake was so big and beautiful that it made the whole bakery smell like a dream. Mia knew this was her big treat for all her friends in the village. Mia invited all her friends to the bakery, the playful puppy, the curious cat, and the wise old owl. Everyone gathered around the giant cake, their eyes wide with joy and their noses twitching at the sweet smell. Mia cut a big slice and shared it with all her friends. Everyone laughed, sang, and danced as they tasted the yummy treat. That day, Mia's big cake wasn't just a dessert. It was a magical moment of friendship and happiness that filled the little village with smiles. The Brave Little Robot. In a bright, cheerful town where robots lived happily, there was a small silver robot named Zippy. Zippy had big round eyes that sparkled with curiosity and a glowing blue heart light that shone brightly whenever he was excited. Every day, Zippy played with his robot friends, exploring the colorful streets and shiny playgrounds filled with laughter and fun. One sunny morning, Zippy and his friends discovered a huge maze near the edge of town. The maze's shiny metal walls twisted and turned, sparkling in the sunlight. The friends were curious and decided to explore it together. They laughed and ran inside, eager to find the maze's secret center where a treasure was said to be hidden. But soon, the maze's twists and turns made it hard to find the way. Zippy's friends started to feel lost and a little scared. The walls looked so tall and the pathways were confusing. Zippy took a deep breath, his blue heart light glowing even brighter. He knew he had to be brave and help his friends find their way out safely. Zippy remembered the stories his creator told him about using his special sensors to find light and sounds. Slowly, he followed the soft glimmers and gentle hums that led toward the maze's exit. Step by step, Zippy guided his friends, telling them stories and cheering them up with his bright smile and glowing heart light. Finally, after a fun and careful journey, Zippy and his friends reached the maze's exit. Everyone cheered and hugged Zippy, calling him their brave little hero. Zippy's blue heart light shone the brightest it had ever been, lighting up the whole town with happiness. From that day on, the little robot wasn't just small, he was the bravest of all. The Yellow Journey of Yvette and Yves. One sunny morning in the heart of the yellow forest, Yvette and Yves, two tiny yellow birds, woke up feeling extra sparkly and curious. Today was the day they would begin their yellow journey. With a flap of their bright wings, they soared above the golden sunflowers that smiled up at them, ready to explore the sparkling streams and glowing meadows. Every leaf and petal shimmered like sunshine, and the air buzzed softly with the songs of happy bees. Yvette chirped, "Let's find the magical yellow treasure hidden somewhere in the forest." Yves twirled in the air, excited to start the adventure. As they flew deeper into the forest, Yvette spotted a sparkling yellow stream winding gently through the trees. They fluttered down to peek into the clear, golden water and saw tiny yellow fish swimming in swirls. Yves dipped his wing to splash playfully, and the water sparkled like tiny stars. Suddenly, a friendly yellow squirrel scampered down from a tree, holding a shiny yellow acorn. "Hello," it chirped. "Would you like to follow me to the sunflower meadow? It's where the biggest, brightest sunflowers grow." Yvette and Yves nodded eagerly, ready for the next part of their journey. The sunflower meadow was a sea of bright, smiling sunflowers swaying gently in the breeze. Yvette and Yves hopped from flower to flower, their feathers glowing softly in the warm light. Butterflies with golden wings fluttered all around, and a yellow rabbit peeked shyly from behind a petal. Suddenly, Yves spotted a golden key hidden beneath a sunflower leaf. "This must be the magical treasure," he chirped excitedly. Yvette fluttered beside him, their eyes sparkling with joy. Together, they wondered what the key might unlock in their sunny, yellow world. The Little Quail's Chirp. In a sunny, green meadow, there lived a little quail named Quincy. Quincy was very small and had soft, fluffy feathers that made him look like a tiny ball of fluff. But there was one thing that made Quincy a little different. He was very shy and hardly ever chirped. The other animals played and sang all day, and Quincy wished he could join in, but he was too quiet to make a sound that others could hear. One bright morning, Quincy woke up feeling very brave. He decided it was time to find his own special chirp. He took a deep breath and gave a tiny little chirp. It was so soft that only the nearby flowers seemed to hear it. Quincy smiled, feeling proud that he tried. Encouraged by his little chirp, he chirped a bit louder, and this time, a friendly butterfly fluttered closer, landing gently on a flower near him. Quincy chirped and chirped, each time a little louder and happier. Soon, the rabbits stopped hopping and the birds paused their songs to listen. "Look," said a bright bluebird, "Quincy's chirp is the sweetest sound we've ever heard." Quincy's heart felt warm and full of joy. Even though he was small and shy, his chirp was special, and it brought all the meadow friends together like never before. From that day on, Quincy chirped every morning, filling the meadow with his happy little song. The animals loved to hear his chirp and would gather around to sing and play with him. Quincy learned that even the smallest voice could make a big difference, and that being yourself was the best thing of all. And so, the meadow was full of friendship, laughter, and the cheerful chirps of a very special little quail. The Tale of Two Best Friends. One sunny morning, Pip the puppy and Mia the kitten met in the magical garden where flowers smelled like candy and butterflies shimmered like little rainbows. They greeted each other with happy barks and purrs, ready for a day full of fun. Pip bounced his shiny red ball, and Mia twirled around, her green eyes sparkling with excitement. Together, they decided to explore the garden, wondering what new surprises they might find. As they wandered along the winding paths, a golden butterfly appeared, fluttering gently in front of them. It glowed softly and seemed to be inviting them to follow. With tails wagging and whiskers twitching, Pip and Mia chased the glowing butterfly deeper into the garden. They passed sparkling streams, giggling flowers, and even a friendly snail wearing a tiny hat. Every step was a new adventure, and the friends laughed together all the way. Soon, the butterfly led them to a secret meadow where the grass shimmered like tiny stars. In the middle stood a huge, twisty tree that whispered stories in the wind. Pip and Mia sat quietly, listening to the soft, rustling leaves. Suddenly, the tree's branches swayed, showering them with colorful petals that tickled their noses. The friends giggled and danced under the petal rain, feeling the magic of the garden wrap around them like a warm hug. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with pink and orange, Pip and Mia realized it was time to go home. They thanked the golden butterfly for the wonderful adventure and promised to visit the magical garden again soon. Holding the red ball and with hearts full of joy, the two best friends skipped happily back through the garden, ready to dream of their next amazing day together. The Superhero Squad of Sunnyville. In the sunny town of Sunnyville, 4 friends loved to play and help others. There was Leela, who could make flowers bloom with a gentle touch, Max, who could run faster than the wind, Zoe, who could light up the darkest places with her bright smile, and Ben, who could hear the tiniest sounds from far away. Together, they called themselves the Superhero Squad, always ready for fun and kindness. One morning, as the Superhero Squad played near the big oak tree, they heard a tiny cry. Ben, with his super hearing, said, "Someone needs help." They followed the sound and found Mr. Bumblebee's little bee stuck in a spider's web. Leela gently touched the web, and flowers grew around it, making the sticky threads disappear. The little bee buzzed happily and flew free. The squad cheered, feeling proud to help. Suddenly, dark clouds covered the sky, and the town's lights went out. Zoe's smile shone brightly, lighting up the street like a glowing lantern. Max ran quickly to check the power station, where he found a big branch blocking the wires. Using his speed, he moved the branch away, and the lights twinkled back on. Everyone in Sunnyville clapped and cheered for the Superhero Squad. As the sun came out again, the Superhero Squad gathered to celebrate. They learned that when friends work together with their special gifts and kindness, they can make any day bright and happy. Sunnyville was the happiest town ever, all thanks to the brave and caring Superhero Squad. And every day, they looked forward to new adventures and helping anyone in need. The Mountain of Majesty. One sunny morning, Luna the little fox woke up with a sparkle in her eyes. Today was the day she would explore the Mountain of Majesty, a magical place where the clouds shimmered like stars and the trees whispered secrets. Luna packed her tiny backpack with a crunchy apple and set off, her tail flicking with excitement as she trotted through the soft green forest. As Luna walked, she met a fluffy white rabbit nibbling on a carrot. "Where are you going, Luna?" asked the rabbit with a twitch of his nose. "To the Mountain of Majesty," Luna replied proudly. "Can I come too?" the rabbit asked, hopping alongside her. Together, they laughed and skipped, the forest alive with their cheerful chatter and the rustle of leaves. Near a sparkling stream, Luna and the rabbit met a wise old owl perched on a branch. "Hello, young travelers," hooted the owl softly. "The Mountain of Majesty holds wonderful surprises, but you must be brave and kind on your journey." Luna nodded, her heart full of courage. The owl's big round eyes twinkled like stars as it flapped its wings and soared into the sky. Finally, they reached the foot of the Mountain of Majesty. The clouds around its peak glowed softly, like tiny stars dancing in the sky. Luna and her new friends climbed carefully, feeling the cool breeze and smelling sweet mountain flowers. When they reached the top, the whole world sparkled below them, and Luna felt happy and proud. She knew that with kindness and courage, any mountain could be climbed. The Little Turtle's Shell. In a sunny forest by a sparkling pond lived a little turtle named Tilly. Tilly loved to explore, but there was something very special about her. Her shell could change colors. One morning, as the sun tickled her back, her shell shimmered from green to sparkling blue. Tilly blinked with surprise and smiled. "Hello, beautiful shell," she said happily. She decided to find out what other colors her shell could be. As Tilly wandered through soft grass, her shell changed to a lovely shade of pink. She met a fluffy rabbit who hopped over, eyes wide. "Wow, Tilly, your shell is like a rainbow," the rabbit exclaimed. Tilly giggled and twirled, watching her shell sparkle. She felt like a little magic show walking in the forest. Maybe my shell can do even more, she thought brightly. Suddenly, Tilly's shell didn't just change colors, it changed shapes. Her shell stretched into a tiny house shape with little windows and a door. Look, it's a turtle home, she laughed. Nearby, a wise old frog croaked happily. Your shell is as special as you are, Tilly. Tilly felt proud and a little amazed. She loved her magical shell more than ever. Tilly spent her day sharing her magical shell with all her friends. She turned it shiny gold for the birds to see, then deep purple for the butterflies to admire. Every change made her smile bigger and brighter. As the sun began to set, Tilly curled up by the pond, her shell glowing softly under the stars. "What a wonderful day," she whispered. "I love being me and my magical shell." The brave little roosters crow. Early every morning on the colorful farm, all the animals woke up with the sun. But Ruddy, the little rooster with bright red and orange feathers, felt shy. He wanted to crow like the big roosters, but his voice was small and soft. What if no one hears me? He wondered, watching the sun rise slowly over the green fields. One morning, dark clouds covered the bright sun, and the farm stayed sleepy and still. The big roosters were all silent, hiding under the trees. Without the sun's warm light, the animals didn't know it was time to rise. Ruddy felt a little flutter in his chest. Maybe I can help, he thought. Taking a deep breath, Ruddy puffed out his tiny chest and let out the bravest crow he ever could. "Cock-a-doodle-doo!" His voice was small but clear, and it echoed across the farm. Slowly, the animals stirred, the hens clucked awake, and Farmer Joe smiled, tipping his hat. The sun peeked out from behind the clouds, shining warmly again. From that day on, Ruddy knew that even the smallest voice could be brave and important. Every morning, he crowed with confidence, helping the farm wake up with a happy heart. And all the animals cheered, because the brave little rooster's crow was the sweetest sound in the whole wide farm. The Happy Swamp Sparrow's Song. In the heart of a bright and buzzing swamp lived Sunny, the happiest little sparrow you ever did see. Every morning, Sunny would perch on her favorite twig and sing a sweet, cheerful song that made the whole swamp wake up with a smile. Frogs would hop, turtles would smile, and dragonflies would dance in the sunlight. Sunny's song was as bright as the morning sun, and everyone loved to hear it. One day, when Sunny opened her beak to sing, no sound came out. The swamp was quiet, and all the creatures looked surprised. Sunny felt puzzled and a little sad. Where did my song go? She wondered. She fluttered from branch to branch, trying to find her melody, but the swamp stayed still and silent. The frogs stopped hopping, and even the dragonflies paused their dance. Sunny decided to ask her friends for help. She hopped down to the pond where Tilly the turtle was resting. "Tilly, do you know where my happy song went?" Sunny asked. Tilly smiled gently and said, "Sometimes, songs hide when we forget to look around. Maybe your song is in the smiles of your friends or the sparkle of the water." Sunny looked all around, and slowly, the sparkle of the water and the gentle smiles of her friends made her heart feel warm again. Feeling hopeful, Sunny took a deep breath and sang softly. At first, the song was small and quiet, but then it grew brighter and stronger, filled with all the joy she felt from her friends and the sparkling swamp. The frogs started hopping again, the dragonflies flitted happily in the air, and even Tilly hummed along. Sunny's song was back, happier than ever, because it was filled with the love and magic of the whole swamp. From that day on, Sunny sang every morning, not just from her heart, but from the hearts of all her friends in the swamp. Her song was a happy reminder that sometimes, when we feel quiet inside, the love and smiles around us can bring back our greatest songs. And so, the swamp stayed lively and bright, all thanks to the happy swamp sparrow's song. The secret door in Grandpa's attic. One sunny afternoon, Lily went to visit Grandpa's house. She loved exploring his big, old attic full of dusty boxes, colorful hats, and twinkling lights from tiny fairy lamps. As she tiptoed around, her eyes caught something unusual: a small wooden door hidden behind a big stack of books. It wasn't like any door she had seen before. It shimmered faintly and seemed to hum softly, like it was waiting just for her. Grandpa smiled when Lily showed him the secret door. "Ah, that's a magical door," he said softly. "It opens only when someone with a brave heart and a big imagination is near." With a twinkle in his eye, Grandpa helped Lily turn the old brass knob. Suddenly, the door creaked open, revealing a sparkling tunnel filled with glowing mushrooms and fluttering, colorful leaves that danced in the air. Lily took a deep breath and stepped inside, feeling a tingle of excitement in her toes. Inside the magical world, Lily met a cheerful squirrel who chattered happily, and a wise old owl who blinked kindly from a shimmering tree branch. The animals invited her to join their game of hide-and-seek among the glowing flowers and twinkling stars. Lily laughed and ran, her heart full of joy as she discovered new friends and magical wonders. Grandpa watched nearby, smiling, happy to see Lily's imagination soar in this special secret place. After a wonderful adventure, it was time to say goodbye to the magical world. Lily hugged her new animal friends and promised to visit again soon. With Grandpa by her side, she walked back through the shimmering tunnel and gently closed the secret door. Though the door was now quiet, Lily's heart was buzzing with happiness and wonder. She knew that whenever she wanted, the secret door would open again, leading her to more magical adventures and the warm love of Grandpa's attic. The rhyming romp of Rachel and Ryan. Rachel and Ryan set off to play on a bright and sunny day. "Let's find fun in every rhyme," said Rachel. "One word leads to the next each time." They skipped along the winding street, tapping their feet to a rhyming beat. "Look at the cat, so fluffy and fat," giggled Ryan, patting its soft, white hat. Bumblebee buzzed by with a cheerful hum. "Join our rhyme," said Rachel. "Here it comes." Next, they found a ball, red, yellow, and blue, bouncing it high as they shouted. "Woohoo!" Ryan rhymed. "Bounce and pounce, let's play and announce." Rachel laughed. "Catch it quick, pick it up quick." They tossed and caught with giggles and cheer, their rhymes echoing far and near. A rainbow kite soared up above, dancing and twirling like a dove. Fly high, sky bright, a colorful kite, they rhymed with delight. As the sun began to dip and dip, the friends slowed down their rhyming trip. "What a day," said Ryan with a grin. "Rhyming's the best way to spin and win." Rachel nodded, eyes shining bright. "Words can make the world a delight." They waved goodbye to the buzzing bee, the fluffy cat, and the tall green tree. Hand in hand, they skipped back home, dreaming of rhymes wherever they'd roam. The big classroom of Benny and Bella. In a bright, sunny school, Benny the bunny hopped excitedly into the big classroom. His best friend Bella the bear followed, her big paws tapping softly on the colorful floor. The classroom was not ordinary. It was a place filled with magic. Giant crayons stood like trees, and alphabet blocks floated gently in the air. Benny and Bella smiled wide, ready to explore all the fun waiting for them. The friendly owl teacher, wearing shiny glasses, greeted them with a warm hoot. "Welcome to the big classroom. Here, learning is an adventure," he said. Benny's ears perked up and Bella's eyes sparkled. They spotted a talking chalkboard that smiled and waved its chalk arm. "Let's start with colors," it said, drawing bright red apples and blue skies. Benny and Bella clapped their paws and paws with excitement. Next, the magical classroom showed them shapes that danced around. Circles, squares, and triangles spun and twirled in the air. Bella caught a glowing yellow star shape and giggled. Benny bounced on a big blue ball shape and laughed happily. The classroom was alive with fun, and every corner held a new surprise to discover. As the day came to an end, Benny and Bella sat together, feeling proud and happy. The big classroom had taught them that learning was not just about books. It was about exploring, playing, and sharing smiles. The owl teacher winked and said, "Tomorrow, another adventure awaits." Benny and Bella waved goodbye, already excited to come back. The happy vultures scavenge. In the sunny savannah, Vicky the happy vulture woke up with a big smile. Today was a special day because she was going on a scavenger hunt. She flapped her shiny feathers and looked all around. "I will find colorful treasures," she chirped excitedly. The tall golden grass swayed gently as the warm sun kissed the land. Vicky spread her wings and soared up high, ready for a day full of fun and surprises. As Vicky flew over the trees, she spotted Ruby the rabbit hopping near some shiny red berries. "Hello, Ruby. Do you want to join my scavenger hunt?" Vicky called out happily. Ruby's nose twitched with excitement. "Yes, please. I love finding fun things." Together, they looked for sparkling blue stones hidden under the leaves. They laughed and shared stories as they searched, feeling the joy of friendship grow with every find. Next, Polly the parrot fluttered down from a tall acacia tree. Her feathers shimmered with green, blue, and red. "I heard about your treasure hunt. Can I come too?" Polly squawked cheerfully. With a happy nod, Vicky welcomed her. Polly helped spot golden leaves glowing in the sunlight high up on the branches. Together, the trio found bright yellow flowers growing near a sparkling stream, adding more colorful treasures to their collection. Slowly but surely, Timmy the turtle joined the group. He carried a bright yellow flower on his shiny green shell. "I may be slow," Timmy smiled, "but I love adventures." The friends cheered and carefully helped Timmy find sparkling stones hidden beneath soft moss. Together, they sang songs and shared their treasures, knowing that the best part of the day was being together and exploring as friends. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with orange and pink, Vicky and her friends sat together surrounded by their colorful treasures. "Look at all we found," Vicky said, her eyes shining bright. "But the best treasure is having friends to share these moments with," Polly added. They all nodded, feeling happy and grateful. The happy Vulture's scavenger hunt had brought them more than treasures. It brought them joy, laughter, and friendship that would last forever. The Happy Pheasant's Call. In the heart of a bright and beautiful forest lived Pippa, the happiest pheasant you could ever meet. Every morning, she would stretch her colorful wings and let out a cheerful call that echoed through the trees. Her friends loved to hear her sing because it meant a new day full of fun was about to begin. One sunny day, Pippa's joyful call floated through the forest, inviting all her friends to come and play together. First to arrive was Benny the rabbit, hopping happily over the soft moss. Then came Squeaky the squirrel, who climbed down from a tall oak tree with a big grin. Bluebell the bluebird fluttered in, chirping a sweet tune to join Pippa's melody. Even the butterflies danced in circles, their colorful wings sparkling in the sun. Together, they all gathered beneath Pippa's favorite tree, ready for a magical day of adventure. Pippa flapped her wings and said, "Let's explore the forest and see what wonderful things we can find." Off they went, skipping and flying through sunlit paths, smelling sweet flowers, and listening to the gentle rustle of leaves. They found sparkling dewdrops hanging like tiny jewels on spider webs and watched a family of ants march along a twig. Everywhere they looked, there was magic waiting to be discovered. As the sun began to set, Pippa called out once more, a happy, musical call that echoed like a lullaby. All her friends gathered close, feeling warm and joyful after their day of fun. They snuggled together under the twinkling stars, knowing that Pippa's happy call would always bring them back to each other for more adventures. And with that, the forest was filled with peaceful dreams and gentle night sounds until morning came again. The Midnight Shipwreck Mystery. One quiet night, when the moon was big and bright, little Milo the mouse woke up from his cozy nest. Outside, the waves whispered secrets and the stars twinkled like tiny diamonds. Curious Milo grabbed his little lantern and tiptoed to the sandy shore. Suddenly, beneath the shimmering water, he spotted something glowing, a magical shipwreck sparkling in the moonlight. Milo's eyes grew wide with wonder. What could it be? He decided to find out. As Milo peered closer, a friendly pink starfish named Glimmer popped out from behind a rock. "Hello, Milo. The Midnight Shipwreck is full of sparkling treasures," she said with a smile. Just then, Krabby the cheerful red crab scuttled by, waving his claws. "Let's explore together," he cheered. The three new friends decided to dive into a magical adventure, curious about the glowing treasures hidden inside the shipwreck. They held onto each other tightly and splashed into the sparkling water. Inside the shipwreck, the friends discovered sparkling shells, shiny pearls, and glittering jewels that twinkled like stars. "Wow!" gasped Milo. But the greatest treasure was a glowing, magical pearl that shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow. Suddenly, the pearl floated up and shone bright, lighting up the whole shipwreck like a cozy lantern. The friends laughed and danced in the warm glow, feeling happy and brave. The midnight shipwreck had shared its secret, friendship and magic sparkle brightest of all. When it was time to return home, Milo, Glimmer, and Krabby waved goodbye to the sparkling shipwreck as it slowly dimmed beneath the waves. "We'll come back soon," promised Milo. The moon smiled down as the friends walked back along the shore, their hearts full of magic and wonder. Milo snuggled into his cozy nest, dreaming of new adventures. And from that night on, whenever the moon was big and bright, the midnight shipwreck sparkled just for them, whispering secrets of friendship and magic. Noah and the Giant Dinosaur Egg. One sunny morning, Noah was exploring the green forest near his home when something shiny caught his eye. Hidden under a big fern was a giant dinosaur egg. It was bigger than Noah, with shiny green and blue spots that sparkled in the sunlight. Noah carefully touched the egg and felt a little warm. He wondered what kind of dinosaur might hatch from such a huge egg. Excited and curious, Noah decided to take care of the egg and wait for the baby dinosaur to come out. Noah made a cozy nest for the egg using soft leaves and moss. Every day, he visited the egg, telling it stories about the forest and singing songs to keep it company. Sometimes, Noah imagined the baby dinosaur playing with him in the forest, chasing butterflies and splashing in puddles. The egg seemed to glow brighter each day, and Noah felt a happy buzz inside his tummy, knowing something magical was about to happen. One afternoon, as Noah was singing his favorite song, the egg started to crack. Tiny pieces of shell fell away, and out popped a little baby dinosaur with big bright eyes and a happy smile. The baby dinosaur blinked and looked around, then nuzzled Noah's hand gently. Noah laughed with joy, hugging his new friend. The baby dinosaur was playful and loved to chase butterflies just like Noah had imagined. Together, they had a wonderful day filled with fun and laughter in the magical forest. The Happy LeConte's Sparrow's Melody. In a sunny meadow filled with colorful wildflowers, a little LeConte sparrow perched happily on a twig. Every morning, he sang a sweet, cheerful melody that danced through the air like a gentle breeze. His song made the flowers sway and the butterflies flutter with delight. All the animals in the meadow loved to hear the sparrow's happy tune because it made their hearts feel light and joyful. One day, a little gray bunny hopped into the meadow looking a bit sad. He had lost his way and didn't know how to find his family. When the sparrow saw the bunny's big, worried eyes, he began to sing his happiest melody ever. The song floated through the air, wrapping the bunny in a warm, comforting hug. Slowly, the bunny's frown turned into a small smile. As the sparrow's joyful melody continued, Other animals gathered around, the playful squirrel, the busy bees, and even the shy butterflies. They all joined in, making happy noises and buzzing sounds, creating a wonderful forest concert. The bunny felt safe and loved, and soon he found his family waiting just beyond the tall grass. They thanked the sparrow for his magical song that brought everyone together in happiness. The Adventures of Lily and Leo. One sunny morning, Lily woke up with a big smile. She looked outside and saw her puppy, Leo, wagging his tail eagerly. Today wasn't just any day, it was the perfect day for an adventure. Together, they ran outside into the backyard, but as they stepped on the soft grass, something magical happened. The flowers began to sparkle, the trees stretched higher, and a gentle breeze whispered, "Come explore." Lily held Leo's paw, and they stepped into a magical land right behind their house. As they walked deeper into this enchanted garden, they met a tiny dragonfly named Dazzle. Dazzle had shimmering wings that twinkled like stars. She told Lily and Leo about a secret. The rainbow fountain was missing its colors. Without its colors, the magic of the garden was fading. Lily and Leo decided they had to help. With Dazzle leading the way, they set off to find the colors and bring magic back to the garden. First, they found the red ruby rose guarded by a friendly ladybug named Leela. Leela smiled and said, "Take this red color, but promise to be gentle with the garden." Lily carefully picked a glowing red petal and placed it in their little basket. Next, they visited the blue bubble pond, where Leo splashed with joy. The pond gave them bright blue bubbles that floated softly in the air. With each new color they found, the garden grew more alive and magical. Finally, Lily, Leo, and Dazzle reached the top of a sparkling hill where the rainbow fountain stood, dull and quiet. Lily sprinkled all the colors they collected, red, blue, yellow, green, and purple, into the fountain. Suddenly, the fountain burst into a dazzling rainbow spray. The garden glowed with magic, and all the creatures cheered. Lily hugged Leo and Dazzle, feeling proud and happy. They had saved the magic of their special garden together. As the sun began to set, the magical garden gently faded back into their backyard. Lily and Leo waved goodbye to their new friends and promised to visit again soon. They skipped back inside, hearts full of wonder and joy. Lily whispered to Leo, "Every day can be an adventure if we believe in magic." Leo barked happily, ready for their next big journey together. Timmy's Tenacious Tiger. One sunny morning, Timmy was playing in his backyard when he spotted something unusual under the big oak tree. It was a tiny tiger, no bigger than Timmy's favorite teddy bear. The tiger's stripes shimmered like gold in the sunlight, and it blinked up at Timmy with curious green eyes. "Hello, little tiger," Timmy said, excited and a little surprised. The tiger gave a soft roar, like a happy purr, and wagged its fluffy tail. Timmy knew this was no ordinary tiger. It was magical and ready for an adventure. Timmy named his new friend Toby the Tenacious Tiger. Toby was full of energy and had a big idea. "Let's find the missing rainbow in the garden," Toby said with a tiny growl. Timmy's eyes grew wide. He loved rainbows and had always wondered where they went when the rain stopped. Together, they set off on their backyard adventure, looking under bushes, behind flowers, and even inside the little garden shed. Every corner held a new surprise, and Toby's playful roar made Timmy laugh and feel brave. Suddenly, Toby spotted something sparkling near the garden pond. They tiptoed closer and found a tiny rainbow glowing softly on a smooth pebble. "We found it!" Timmy cheered. Toby did a joyful little dance, his stripes shining even brighter. Timmy carefully picked up the pebble, and together they watched the tiny rainbow shimmer and shine. It wasn't just a rainbow, it was a magical treasure that reminded them to always look for joy and never give up. With a happy heart and a new friendship, Timmy and Toby knew every day could be an adventure. The Happy Gannet's Dive. Gilly the gannet loved to fly high over the sparkling sea. Every day, he would spread his wide wings and soar up into the bright blue sky. When he felt the wind under his wings, he knew it was time for a big, happy dive. With a joyful chirp, Gilly tucked his wings and zipped down toward the shimmering water below. Splash! The sea welcomed him with a cool, bubbly hug. As Gilly swam through the sparkling waves, something shiny caught his eye. It was a little silver fish, glittering like a tiny star. The fish blinked its big, curious eyes and swam close to Gilly. "Hello," said Gilly with a friendly chirp. "Would you like to dive with me?" The shiny fish twirled happily and nodded, ready for an adventure. Just then, a group of playful dolphins jumped out of the water, splashing and spinning with joy. A colorful crab waved its claws from a nearby rock, and a shy starfish peeked out from under the seaweed. Gilly smiled wide and said, "Let's all dive together." With a whoosh and a splash, they all joined in, swirling and twirling through the water like a happy underwater dance. After their big, happy dive, Gilly and his new friends floated on the shining waves, smiling with their hearts full of fun. "The sea is so beautiful when shared with friends," said Gilly. The sun smiled down warmly as the ocean sparkled all around. And from that day on, every dive was the happiest dive, because adventures are best when you share them with those you care about. The Little Melody of Lily and Leo. One bright morning, Lily and her puppy Leo heard a soft, sweet melody floating on the breeze. Curious, they followed the little tune as it danced through the flowers and tickled the leaves. The melody seemed to be calling them on a magical adventure, with notes that sparkled like tiny stars and made their hearts feel light and happy. As they wandered deeper into the meadow, the melody grew brighter and more playful. Leo wagged his tail and bounced happily, while Lily laughed and clapped her hands to the rhythm. They realized the music was like a little friend, guiding them through fields of butterflies and over twinkling streams that shimmered like glass in the sunshine. Suddenly, the melody stopped. Lily and Leo looked around and saw a tiny, glowing music box hidden beneath a big sunflower. When Lily opened the box, the sweet tune started again, even more magical than before. They realized that together, they could make their own little melody by singing and barking along, spreading joy wherever they went. With their new melody, Lily and Leo danced and played all afternoon, sharing their happy song with the birds, the trees, and all their new meadow friends. The music made everyone smile, and the little melody grew bigger and brighter, filling the world with cheer and friendship. And from that day on, every time the wind whispered, Lily and Leo knew it was their music calling them to a new adventure. The Little Car of Lily and Leo. One sunny morning, Lily and Leo were playing in the park when they found a tiny, shiny little car under a big oak tree. It was covered in sparkling colors like a rainbow. "Look, Leo," said Lily, "this little car looks magical." As they touched the car, it suddenly grew bigger, just the right size for them to hop inside. They giggled with excitement, ready to see where their new magical car could take them. Lily grabbed the steering wheel and Leo buckled up beside her. Suddenly, the little car zoomed forward, faster and faster, as if it had a happy heart racing with joy. They whooshed past flowers and trees, waving at a friendly squirrel who seemed amazed by their speedy adventure. "Whee!" laughed Leo, holding on tight. The park looked like a magical racetrack, and their little car was the fastest in the whole world. After their thrilling ride, the car gently slowed down near a sparkling pond. Lily and Leo stepped out, feeling happy and full of wonder. "This little car is the best friend we could ever have," said Lily, smiling. They promised to take the little car on many more adventures, discovering new places and making every day magical. As the sun began to set, the car shrank back to its tiny size, ready to rest until their next joyful ride together. Lucy and the Sea Monster Under the Waves. Lucy loved playing by the sea. One sunny morning, she spotted something unusual just beneath the sparkling blue waves. It was a big, friendly sea monster with soft blue scales and twinkling eyes. Lucy wasn't scared. She was excited to meet a new friend. The sea monster smiled and waved a fin. "Hello, Lucy," it said in a gentle voice. Lucy waved back and asked, "Can we play together?" The sea monster nodded happily, inviting her to explore the magical world under the waves. Lucy put on her bright pink swimsuit and carefully climbed onto the sea monster's back. Together, they dove under the water where colorful fish swam by, and coral reefs glowed in beautiful shades of orange, pink, and purple. The seaweed waved gently like dancing ribbons. Lucy laughed as the sea monster swirled around, showing her secret caves and hidden treasures made of shiny shells. The underwater world was full of surprises and magic, and Lucy felt like she was in a dream she never wanted to end. After their adventure, Lucy and the sea monster surfaced, smiling and happy. "Will you come back and play again?" Lucy asked. The sea monster nodded. "Every day." From that day on, Lucy knew the sea held a wonderful secret friend just waiting for her. And every time she visited the shore, she waved at the waves, hoping to see her sea monster friend's twinkling eyes beneath the blue. It was the start of a beautiful friendship that made the ocean sparkle a little brighter. The Tiny Robot Who Wanted a Heart. In a bright and bustling workshop, there lived a tiny robot named Tink. Tink was shiny and small with big, curious eyes and a little antenna on top. Even though Tink could beep and blink and zip all around, there was one thing missing: a heart. Tink often wondered what it would be like to have a heart that could feel warm and happy. One sunny morning, with a hopeful beep, Tink decided to go on an adventure to find a real, glowing heart. As Tink rolled out of the workshop, a friendly firefly named Spark zipped by, lighting up the path ahead. "Where are you off to, Tink?" Spark asked with a twinkle. "I want to find a heart," said Tink, "so I can feel warm and happy inside." Spark smiled warmly and said, "Then I'll help you shine the way." Together, they zipped through meadows of glowing flowers and sparkling stones, laughing as they went. Soon they met Whisper, a soft, fluffy cloud who floated gently in the sky. Whisper smiled and said, "A heart isn't just something you find, it's something you grow by being kind and caring." Tink thought about this and smiled shyly. "Maybe I can start by being kind right now," whispered Tink. And so Tink helped a little bird with a hurt wing, gently fixing it with careful metal hands. The bird chirped happily, and Tink felt a little spark inside, something warm and new. As the sun began to set, Spark and Whisper guided Tink to a shimmering pond where a glowing red heart gem floated on the water's surface. "This is the heart you've been searching for," said Whisper. Tink reached out carefully and touched the glowing heart, feeling its warmth spread all through the tiny robot's body. But Tink also realized something wonderful. The kindness and friendship shared on the journey had already filled a special place inside. With a happy beep and a glowing heart inside, Tink rolled back to the workshop, where friends and laughter waited. Tink had learned that a heart is more than a thing to hold. It's the love and kindness we share every day. And now, Tink's little light shined brighter than ever, because the tiny robot who wanted a heart had found the very best kind, the heart inside. The Talking Tree in Whispering Woods. One bright morning in Whispering Woods, Bella the bunny hopped happily along a soft, mossy path. She loved exploring the forest, smelling the flowers, and listening to the birds sing sweet songs. Suddenly, Bella heard a gentle voice say, "Hello there, little one." Surprised, she looked around but saw only tall trees and fluttering butterflies. Then, she noticed a big tree with twinkling eyes and a friendly smile right in front of her. It was the Talking Tree, who loved to share stories and secrets of the forest with all who would listen. The Talking Tree told Bella about the magic hidden in every leaf and the whispers of the wind that carried stories from far away. Bella's eyes grew wide with excitement as she listened carefully. "Would you like to see the secret glade where the fireflies dance at night?" asked the tree kindly. Bella nodded eagerly, and together they set off deeper into the woods. Along the way, Bella saw sparkling streams, giggling squirrels, and flowers that seemed to wave hello. The forest was alive with magic, and Bella felt happy to be part of it all. As the sun began to set, the secret glade appeared, glowing softly with hundreds of tiny fireflies twinkling like stars. Bella clapped her paws with joy, and the Talking Tree hummed a happy tune. "Every creature in Whispering Woods has a special magic," the tree said kindly. "And you, Bella, have the magic of curiosity and kindness." Bella smiled wide, feeling warm inside. She knew she would always remember this magical day and the special friend she found in the talking tree. Together, they watched the fireflies dance until the stars twinkled above them, whispering sweet dreams to all the forest friends. The jumping joy of Jenny and Jake. One sunny morning, Jenny and Jake, two fluffy little bunnies, hopped out of their cozy burrow ready for a day full of fun. They loved to jump and play, bouncing over flowers and racing through the meadow. As they explored, something shiny caught their eyes, a sparkling trampoline sitting right in the middle of the grass. "Wow," said Jenny, her eyes wide with excitement. "Let's see how high we can jump." Jake nodded happily, and off they went, jumping on the trampoline with big smiles and giggles. As Jenny and Jake bounced higher and higher, something magical happened. The trampoline made them jump right up into the fluffy white clouds. They giggled as they bounced from one cloud to another, feeling like they were flying. "Look, Jake, we're hopping in the sky," Jenny exclaimed with joy. Jake laughed. "This is the best jumping day ever." They felt light as feathers, spinning and leaping through the soft clouds as if they were giant pillows. The whole sky seemed like their playground. After a while, Jenny and Jake gently bounced back down to the grass, their hearts full of joy and their paws a little tired but happy. "That was the most fun we've ever had," said Jenny, catching her breath. Jake nodded, "And we did it together." They looked at each other and smiled, knowing that the best part of their magical jumping adventure was sharing it with a friend. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with pink and orange, they promised to come back to the magical trampoline tomorrow for even more jumping joy. The School of Friendship. In the heart of a bright, cheerful forest stood the magical School of Friendship. Here, young animals came every day to learn the most important magic of all, how to be a good friend. Bunny, squirrel, bird, and turtle were the best friends in the whole school. They loved to play games, share stories, and help one another discover the joy of kindness. Today, their teacher, Wise Owl, was ready to teach them a brand new friendship lesson. Wise Owl began, "Friendship is like a garden. It needs care, patience, and love to grow big and strong." The friends looked around and saw beautiful flowers blooming all around the school. Bunny picked a bright red flower and gave it to Squirrel. Squirrel smiled and shared his acorns with Bird. Bird sang a happy song while Turtle slowly clapped his hands. They all felt warm inside because sharing made their hearts shine brighter. Suddenly, a little cloud covered the sun, and the friends felt a tiny bit sad. Wise Owl said, "When friends feel sad, it's important to listen and be kind." So, Bunny gave Turtle a gentle hug, Squirrel held Bird's wing, and Bird whispered a happy story. Slowly, the sun peeked out again, and the friends giggled and danced. They learned that friendship helps us stay happy even on cloudy days. At the end of the day, Wise Owl smiled and said, "You all have learned the magic of friendship, sharing, listening, and caring. Remember, your friendship garden will always bloom if you keep watering it with love." The friends held hands and promised to be the best friends forever. Together, they laughed and played, knowing their hearts were full of the happiest magic in the world. The big game of Benny and Bella. One sunny morning, Benny the bunny hopped excitedly to meet his best friend Bella the bear. They wanted to play the biggest, most fun game the forest had ever seen. Benny brought a shiny red wooden ball, and Bella wore her happiest smile. Together, they decided to create a new game full of running, jumping, and laughter. The forest was their playground, and every tree and flower seemed to cheer them on as they began their big adventure. Benny bounced the ball high into the air, and Bella caught it with her big paws. They took turns tossing, catching, and rolling the ball between them. Sometimes, the ball would bounce off a tree, and they would giggle and chase after it. Their game was full of surprises and fun. The birds sang along, and even the little squirrels stopped to watch their playful friendship blossom under the golden sun. As the game went on, Benny and Bella invented new rules. Sometimes, they had to hop on one foot or spin around before passing the ball. Sometimes, they pretended the ball was a magical glowing orb that could grant wishes. Their laughter echoed through the forest, making the flowers sway happily. The best part was playing together, sharing smiles and discovering how much fun teamwork could be. When the sun started to set, painting the sky with orange and pink, Benny and Bella sat down under a big oak tree, tired but happy. They talked about all their fun ideas and promised to play the big game again tomorrow. The forest whispered good night, and the friends smiled, knowing that every day brought new adventures when you play with your best friend. The swimming squad of Sally and Sam. One sunny morning, Sally and Sam put on their colorful swim caps and goggles. They were ready for a big day at the sparkling lake. As they stepped closer to the water, they heard cheerful splashes and friendly giggles. Their animal friends, Ducky the little yellow duckling, Froggy the green frog, and Turtle with his shiny shell, were waiting to join the swimming squad. Everyone was excited to learn and play together in the water. Sally dipped her toes in the cool water and smiled. "Let's all swim together," she said. Sam nodded and held out his hand to Turtle. Slowly but surely, Turtle paddled into the water while Ducky flapped his wings excitedly. Froggy jumped high and splashed down with a big splash. Everyone laughed and cheered. They practiced blowing bubbles underwater and kicking their legs like little fish. Splash, splash. It was so much fun being part of the swimming squad. Suddenly, Sally had an idea. "Let's play the bubble race," she exclaimed. The friends lined up at the edge of the lake, ready to swim to the big rock across the water. "On your marks, get set, go," shouted Sam. Everyone kicked and paddled with all their might. Froggy leapt ahead, Ducky flapped fast, Turtle took steady strokes, and Sally and Sam cheered each other on. When they reached the rock, they all laughed and hugged. Being part of the swimming squad was the best adventure ever. The Little Whale's Song. Wavy was a little whale who loved to sing. Every morning, she swam near the ocean's surface and sang a soft, bubbly song. But Wavy wondered if her song was special, just like the big whales' songs she heard far away. One day, she decided to explore the ocean and find out what made her song unique. As Wavy swam deeper, she met a friendly octopus named Ollie. Ollie loved to dance with his long, waving arms whenever he heard music. When Wavy sang, Ollie twirled happily, and they laughed together. Wavy felt her song was making her new friend joyful and bright. Further along, Wavy met a shy seahorse named Surrey. Surrey was quiet but loved to listen to Wavy's song. When Wavy sang gently, Surrey's tiny tail curled happily, and she sparkled with little bubbles all around her. Wavy realized her song could comfort friends who felt shy or lonely. Suddenly, a playful dolphin named Dazzle jumped out of the water, splashing Wavy with cool drops. Dazzle loved to sing too, but his song was fast and bubbly, just like his jumps. Wavy and Dazzle sang together, mixing their songs into a joyful tune that made the whole ocean sparkle. As the sun began to set, Wavy looked around at all her new friends. She knew now that her song was special because it was hers, soft, bubbly, and full of joy. Wavy sang her little whale's song one last time that day, and all the ocean friends joined in, filling the sea with happiness. The Pirate Treasure Map Adventure. One sunny morning, Lily found an old, crinkly treasure map tucked inside a bottle on the beach. Her colorful parrot, Pippin, flapped his wings excitedly and squawked, "Adventure!" The map was covered with winding paths, mysterious drawings, and a big red X marking the spot. Lily knew right away it was a pirate treasure map, just waiting for her to follow it and find the sparkling treasure hidden somewhere on the island. Lily and Pippin set off along the sandy path, following the squiggly lines on the map. Along the way, they waved to friendly pirates who smiled and gave them helpful hints. The pirates wore colorful hats and showed Lily how to read the clues. Pippin repeated the pirates' cheerful greetings, making everyone laugh. The island was full of palm trees, seashells, and secret little spots that made the adventure extra special. Suddenly, the map led Lily and Pippin to a shadowy cave hidden behind tall palm trees. The cave looked dark but exciting. Lily took a deep breath, holding the map tightly, and stepped inside. Pippin fluttered close, his feathers glowing softly in the dim light. Inside, shimmering stars twinkled on the walls, guiding Lily's way. At the end of the cave, there was a big wooden chest with a shiny lock. Lily knew the treasure was close. With a giggle of excitement, Lily opened the treasure chest. Inside, gold coins glittered like tiny suns, and sparkling jewels twinkled in all the colors of the rainbow. Pippin chirped happily, flapping his wings as shiny stars floated up from the chest, filling the cave with magic light. Lily felt proud and joyful. She had found the pirate treasure. Together, they danced and celebrated their wonderful adventure on the island. The Rhythm of Friendship. In the heart of a bright, green forest lived a shy little rabbit named Roomy. Roomy loved to hop softly through the trees, listening carefully to the sounds around. One sunny morning, Roomy heard a gentle tapping sound and followed it to find a cheerful bluebird tapping its wings to a happy tune. Curious, Roomy sat quietly and began to tap a soft rhythm with tiny paws on a nearby stone. The bluebird chirped happily, inviting Roomy to join the music. As Roomy and the bluebird played, a fluffy squirrel scampered down a tree with a little drum. The squirrel smiled and joined the rhythm, tapping the drum with tiny paws. Rumi's eyes sparkled with excitement as the sounds mixed together, a happy beat that made the forest feel alive. Soon, a green frog hopped over, jingling a shiny tambourine, adding a cheerful jingle to the growing song. Rumi felt the joy of sharing music with new friends. Together, Rumi and the friends made a wonderful rhythm that echoed through the forest. Each sound was special: Rumi's soft taps, the bluebird's chirps, the squirrel's drum beats, and the frog's jingles. They laughed and danced, feeling the magic that happens when everyone's different beats come together. From that day on, Rumi knew the secret. Friendship is like a beautiful song, made brighter when everyone shares their own rhythm. The playful penguin's waddle. Penny the penguin loved to waddle all day long. She waddled over the soft snow and slid on the shiny ice. "Waddle, waddle, waddle," she sang happily. The cold wind tickled her feathers as she twirled and twirled. Everywhere Penny went, she made the snow sparkle with her playful steps. Sometimes she even made little snow penguin shapes with her feet. One day, Penny met Sammy the seal, who was sliding on his belly nearby. "Hello, Sammy. Want to play a sliding race?" Penny asked with a big smile. Sammy clapped his flippers and said, "Yes, let's see who slides the fastest." They slid and giggled, zooming down the icy hill, making funny swooshing sounds. Penny's waddle turned into a speedy slide, and Sammy's belly made splashes of sparkling snow. After the race, Penny and Sammy heard a soft hoot from above. It was Olivia the snowy owl. "Can I join your fun?" she asked with bright eyes. Penny nodded happily. "Of course. Let's play hide-and-seek among the snowy trees." Olivia flew up high, watching carefully, while Penny and Sammy waddled behind the snow-covered bushes. They laughed and counted, then jumped out, surprising each other with big smiles. Just when the sun started to dip low, Penny spotted a tiny polar bear cub named Poppy rolling in the snow. "Hello, Poppy. Want to join our game?" Penny asked. Poppy giggled and rolled over to join them. Together, they waddled, slid, and tumbled in the snow, making the cold day feel warm with friendship. Penny's playful waddle had brought new friends and endless fun to her snowy world. Princess Rose's Enchanted Castle. Princess Rose lived in a magical castle filled with bright colors, sparkling windows, and secret passages. Every morning, she danced through the halls, laughing with the tiny glowing fairies who lived in the garden outside. Her castle wasn't just a home. It was a place where dreams could come true and magic filled the air like butterflies fluttering in the sun. One sunny day, as Princess Rose played near the garden gate, she saw a tiny sparkle floating in the air. It twinkled softly and danced like a little star. Curious, she reached out her hand, and the sparkle floated down and landed gently on her palm. It glowed warmly, inviting her to follow it on an adventure. With the sparkle lighting her way, Princess Rose tiptoed through secret doors and winding staircases she had never seen before. Each step was full of wonder. The sparkle led her to a hidden room filled with magical toys, that came to life, singing and dancing just for her. She clapped her hands with joy, twirling around with new friends made of light and laughter. At the very heart of the castle, the sparkle showed Princess Rose a giant, shiny flower made of crystals. When she touched it, the flower bloomed with a beautiful rainbow of colors, filling the whole castle with happiness and light. Princess Rose knew her enchanted castle was even more special than she had ever dreamed. From that day on, Princess Rose and her sparkling friends filled every corner of the castle with laughter and magic. And whenever a little sparkle appeared, she always followed it, knowing that the best adventures and happiest moments were waiting just around the next corner in her enchanted home.